Who were they? Where did they come from? What became of them? Throughout history, mysterious children have appeared seemingly out of nowhere, perplexing all who encountered them. Their puzzling origin stories, inexplicable circumstances, and cryptic fates leave us with more questions than answers even decades or centuries later. We will discuss 4 of the most bizarre, fascinating cases of unexplained children in history. Solving these mysteries may prove impossible, but the intellectual challenge of piecing together their fragmented stories and searching for resolution is undoubtedly alluring. In 12th century England, green-skinned siblings emerged babbling near Woolpit village. Where were these perplexing youths from, and why such coloration? In 1912, America was rescued boy Bobby Dunbar truly found, or an elaborate hoax to replace a lost child? Mid-20th century, an unknown battered body was discovered in a box. Who was this boy and who killed him? Finally, in 1828, Germany, the speechless Caspar Hauser appeared claiming lifetime imprisonment. Truth or fabrication? As we analyze accounts, the reality may be we never fully understand what transpired for these children. Yet something compulsively drives our unceasing quest to keep digging through decades-old trails, seeking answers that history obscured, perhaps to find meaning and explanation amid the chaos. Whatever the underlying reasons, unsolved mysteries have an undeniable magnetism that transcends generations. The Green Children, Bobby Dunbar, the boy in the box, and Caspar Hauser may have more questions surrounding them now than ever before, but our eternal quest for answers keeps their stories alive. As scientific techniques improve, as new evidence periodically emerges, and as fresh eyes re-examine decades-old trails, there remains hope that one day the truth will come to light. For now, the lack of resolution only makes these children more intriguing than ever. The Green Children of Woolpit Village. Revealed thy mysterious origins, thou green and weeping children, beseeched Robert Bacon, medieval monk of local Suffolk Abbey, equally baffled and beguiled by the bewildering boy and girl with skin-tinged emerald who spake an unfamiliar tongue. The strange legend begins when 2 siblings emerged from the woods near 12th century Woolpit village, discovered by local reapers. The frightened children had oddly green-tinged skin from head to toe and wore unusual foreign clothing. Unable to speak a recognizable language, their bizarre appearance baffled villagers who cared for them. The children refused bread but hungrily ate bean pods, implying similar plants existed back home. As their green hue faded over months, the youths gained English and revealed an astonishing account. They came from an underground realm of perpetual twilight, ruled by a towering green king. They either traversed through tunnels or stumbled between dimensions into our world. How the green-skinned siblings truly arrived in Woolpit remains a mystery lost to time, but their fantastical tale endures as one of history's most curious unsolved legends. How much truth lies behind their far-fetched story, we may never know. Some skeptics at the time reportedly accused the children of being Flemish orphans abandoned after rumors of a failed immigration to the area. But why the green skin? A scientific theory emerged centering on hypochromic anemia known as green sickness, caused by a lack of nutrients like iron or minerals from sunlight, potentially explaining their initial sickly emerald color. Not all dismissed the children's fantastical backstory. Local nobleman Sir Richard took interest, baptizing the boy John and employing him as a servant. Tragically, the girl died young. John survived, eventually inheriting his patron's land. One clue lending credence was John's tendency to stare fixedly at the woods where he mysteriously emerged, as if longing for his underground world. Nearly a millennium later, their origins remain a mystery, with theories multiplying. Some link the subterranean realm to nearby church tunnels. But until new evidence surfaces, the Green Children's secrets seem fated to stay underground for centuries more. Bobby Dunbar and the battle for identity. Let's journey now across the Atlantic Ocean to America in the early 20th century, where a bitter custody battle exploded over a young boy rescued after months lost in the Louisiana swamps. Known nationally as the Bobby Dunbar case, this mystery tangled a desperate family's hopes with allegations of astounding conspiracy and fraud orchestrated by a ruthless child predator who some say got away with murder. Our story begins happily when Bobby Dunbar, son of Percy and Leslie Dunbar, vanished during a camping trip to Swayze Lake in 1911, throwing his family into crisis. For 8 agonizing months, search parties scoured the remote woods and waters for the 4-year-old as national media fanned public interest. And then a miracle breakthrough arrived with claims that Bobby Dunbar had been found alive and well in the company of a wandering handyman named William Cantwell Walters. The unlikely duo were discovered miles away near Mississippi, with the man spinning conflicting stories to explain the child's presence. Authorities suspected foul play and Walters was arrested for kidnapping pending verification of the boy's identity. Hopes soared that young Bobby had been found as the Dunbar family tearfully reunited with the child they believed was their son. But Walters adamantly insisted the boy was actually Charles Bruce Anderson, the son of a close friend who was boarding the child. Few believed Walters' version until Julia Anderson arrived in Louisiana, also claiming the boy was her missing son. As speculation exploded, the court case swiftly evolved into a high-profile identity feud between 2 insistent mothers. Hundreds of witnesses were called to dispute minute details on the boy's physical appearance and past memories during the lengthy trial. Debates raged around heads of cabbage, scars from fires, and a toenail once ripped off by a train, all built to a climactic courtroom reveal when the boy was brought before the judge and instantly yelled at seeing Mrs. Dunbar, "There is my ma!" In the end, the Dunbars triumphed. Walters was convicted of kidnapping and the boy declared officially Bobby Dunbar. But was he? Julia Anderson maintained until her death that authorities ignored obvious physical discrepancies and her son was handed illegally to the Dunbar family. And without DNA testing available at that time, undisputed evidence proving identity was impossible. Decades later in 2004, an amateur historian reopened the case file and ordered DNA tests of Bobby Dunbar's last descendants. Shock results showed no genetic ties between the Dunbars and that boy found in 1912. Cold case closed with a startling twist. Julia Anderson was telling the truth all along. The mysterious child raised his life as Bobby Dunbar was indeed an imposter. But his true identity and real family lineage remains forever unknown. A tantalizing loose end lingering from this sensational story of misidentification. So much like his namesake Bobby Dunbar, who vanished forever into those remote woods, where perhaps the lost boy's secrets are still hidden, waiting to be finally unearthed one distant day by history's relentless hand. The Boy in the Box, America's Unknown Child. Like an apparition summoned from the darkest shadows of humanity's imagination, his face peered sightlessly skyward as raindrops mingled with blood on skin too pale and limbs too still. So appeared the battered body of America's unknown child, discovered in a cardboard box on a February night in 1957 near Philadelphia. Dubbed the Boy in the Box, this mystery corpse of a young boy between ages 4 to 6 ignited a morbid manhunt for killers who seemingly didn't want him identified even more than they wanted him dead.